Banana Syndrome, Episode 4, Layovers.
Hey, Junie. It's about 10 in the morning. Ah, crap. I always forget the time change. It's 9 a.m., and I have a 3-hour layover here in DFW. To be honest, with everything that's going on, I was surprised I wasn't detained at security. I guess the only flight risk in the Menendez family is you. Well, I've set up shop the old way, picked up an overpriced breakfast burrito, found a gate that just boarded, so there's a bunch of empty Primo seats, spread my stuff out. All my devices are charging. Man, I hate airports.
Voice note sent.
Remember Portugal? Maybe it's gotten better in the 15 years since then, but I still have nightmares of trying to run a gate that was about to close. I feel like I was running through molasses. You and Lupe always loved the liminal effect of airports. You always said you felt at home here. Your first flight back to see us over the pandemic, you sent us like a photo of your Dunkin' coffee, you weirdo. Luxuriating in the process of flying across the world again. This was always a source of anxiety for me. I wish I could feel the way you do. The thrill of new places and new cultures. The only reason I'm eating this horribly underseasoned burrito, screwing up my lumbar on these stupid cramped planes, risking someone's cringe when my fat ass lands in the seat beside them, spending hundreds of dollars on my nearly maxed out credit card is for you. Plus, you, my dear sister, you have the totally insane superpower that allows you to sleep anywhere. So, be grateful. Send me a sign of life, maybe?
Voice note sent. Message.
So that's how you're gonna communicate, huh? Just deleting my messages? Fine, I guess that's okay enough. I'm glad you're okay, Junie, wherever you are. Dude, can you imagine what Louie's going to say when I tell her you're talking to me like this? Hey, are you communicating with her too? Don't answer that. I'll ask her myself. Maybe I should tell her I'm coming. You know, at this point, she can't stop me. Not that she could stop me before, but you know how she gets. Bullet me into feeling guilty for spending the money or for jeopardizing the whole legal situation for the whole family. But, like I said, no one stopped me at the gate, did they? No, they have my full government name and everything. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm just visiting my sister and brother-in-law. Where's the crime in that? Besides, if Lupe has more information about where you are, I deserve to know. More so than any creepy, shadowy government organization or their lackeys. No offense. Well, some offense. That's something else I want to know. What convinced you to join the CIA? It's not like you didn't know about all the horrible things they've done around the world. You've never been the stereotypical brainwashed patriot either. What gives? I don't know. Like, what if you tortured people? Does the company still do that? I mean, you were serving under the last president, so maybe I need to do more research.
Voice note sent.
So here's the plan. I'm going to call Lupe. I'm going to tell her you've been communicating with me, so obviously you want me to know stuff, which means Lupe needs to give up the goods. Okay, I'm workshopping that bit. Whatever she knows, if she knows where you are, then we go there. We pick up your trail before anyone else can. If they haven't already. My educated guess is that maybe you've gone to Cuba to check out the source of Havana syndrome. That seems to be the origin of all this, after all. Even if you had picked it up in Cambodia, you said you wanted to find the source. Ergo, Cuba. And, well, I'm sure that raises all sorts of alarms with our government, so obviously we'll have to be careful at this point. Looks like the CIA had its hands tied after that Senate Committee on Torture and all those other legal controversies in Guantanamo. So thankfully no more enhanced interrogation techniques. At least not that we can expect without some serious problems, considering you're a U.S. citizen. Black Ops contractors, on the other hand, I'll stop myself there. I'm starting to sound like Dad. Let's try to keep you out of Guantanamo. That's all I'm saying. Okay, once we figure out where you are in Cuba, Lupe can use some of her own army back channels. I'm sure she's got some cross-connections with Dad's people, too. We charter quietly a boat or a plane to smuggle us into the country. Then we find you. Yeah, it's not great, but it's something. The point is, I need to convince Lupe that we need each other. that keeping me in the dark, it's just making us drift apart even more than we already have. It's not my fault you and Lupe decided to just peace out of the country and leave me behind while you go off on adventures. Okay, well, I don't blame you. Florida is an actual shithole. Ah, fuck. That's my flight.
Voice note sent.
I haven't called Lupe. I guess maybe that's one thing I'm kind of looking forward to. That's also making this trip worth putting up with. The look on her face when I show up on their doorstep. I'm telling you all about it in a bit. They're closing the doors now. Love you, Junie.
Voice note sent. Message.
Agent Celia Whittiker, 2317-617. Badge ID number, Julia Tango Tango 033-1614. Personal case notes. I was right to wait and see. In the last 24 hours, we've seen and heard more than enough to make our next moves. With the parents, the outcome was inevitable. Agent Foreman has taken point on the dad and his unfortunate communications. Foreman thinks it might lead to more, considering the father's foreign military contacts. I, personally, think it's simply overprotectiveness, not a conspiracy. But Dimitri Menendez, now, that's something else entirely. He's en route to Vancouver. Thankfully, we already have the RCMP monitoring the house. I, too, am en route, and have notified the JTTF of my plan to accompany the surveillance team in Canada. There's nothing that warrants a pickup. Yet. The question is, what's the endgame here? How much do either of the siblings actually know about Juniper's plans, her movements? Guadalupe, I maybe understand being in the know based on her employment history. But Dimitri has no experience in this world. He's barely out of college, and as far as we know, hasn't been a target for any kind of recruitment. No. This whole situation seems like these two are being manipulated. But to what end? Does Juniper have something on her siblings that we're unaware of?
No business being here, Dee. This is not anywhere in your wheelhouse. You may think that you're an adult now, but this goes way beyond you trying to get your wings and fly on your own. This is way bigger than that. And the fact that Junie has set off this firestorm doesn't mean that you...
I don't think this is...
No! The fact that Junie's gone crazy doesn't mean that you should be dumping more gasoline over it. But no, instead of thinking like a normal person, you head right into obsession because you have nothing better to do? What about work? What? So you just decide up and leave? That's not very adult-like, Dimitri. Your brain hasn't even fully developed. You can't even begin to understand how to approach this, even if you had any training. This isn't some kind of video game or some kind of choose-your-own-adventure story.
I don't think this is a story.
This is real life. There are real people involved and real legal issues. Are you a lawyer? A soldier? An FBI agent? A police officer? A diplomat? No. You're an environmentalist who is fresh out of undergrad. And now, when Mark and I are already under surveillance because of Junie's job, and we have foreign residency, you all of a sudden decided it's a good idea to drop in like we're just going to have a cup of tea and book an illegal cross-continental flight like it's no big deal. Are you out of your mind?
But Junie's been...
So your iPhone is glitching on you. What's new?
It's not glitching, Lupe. All the evidence is lining up. Why can't you see that? She wants me to be here to talk to you about this.
Why? So it's easier for the police to pick us up all at once for conspiracy or espionage?
Lupita, Geraldo told us that even if they thought we knew anything about Junie, the government's priority is to find her and make sure she hasn't been picked up by the Russians or something. No one has interrogated us since Miami.
Geraldo's a lawyer, not a CIA agent. The CIA has a larger reach around legal quandaries and know a hell of a lot more about their own priorities than we do.
Then it's all the more important that we present a united front. We can go to the press if we have to.
Even if Junie wasn't in her right frame of mind, which I don't think she is. I mean, come on. She wouldn't make any contact, and she wouldn't want us going public about this. She's paranoid. She's having some kind of mental health crisis. She needs professional help, not you.
Or you. Come on, you know something. What did Junie want you to tell the feds? I promise, if you tell me, we can actually have a civilized conversation about what to do.
There's nothing else you need to know or do. You didn't have to fly thousands of miles to hear me say that. I've already told you.
I'm tired of being out of the loop. How would you feel if it was you, huh? How would you feel if you were the one who was pushed aside, ignored, to let the professionals handle it? This is Juniper, our sister!
You don't think I know what it feels like to be ignored? Left behind? Hello? Forget Havana. Middle sibling syndrome right here. I'm stuck between two idiots who think they're Jason Bourne and the other one who thinks they're Fox Mulder.
At least we're trying to find the truth. You're probably just happy Juniper's gone off the rails. It just proves to everyone what you've always known, that she's never been the golden child mom and dad so clearly adore and you've always been jealous of.
You? How fucking dare you?
I know this is a really upsetting situation for both of you. And Dee's had a long day of travel. Even if you put him on a plane back tomorrow, he's here. And he's family. Talk it out. Dee, this is our house, and you are our guest. Be kind. Please. I'm gonna grab us some food from Huang's. Don't break anything, including each other.
I'm sorry. That was mean. I was being mean.
Yeah, well, like Mark said, family stuff it's a lot.
I know you're worried about Junie too. I know you love her. That's the reason why you're angry. You're scared to death, right?
Aren't you?
I mean, yeah. Hell yeah. I'm way out of my element here. Obviously. This was probably a bad idea. I was just so hyped up on the adventure, on finally realizing something no one else was talking about. On Junie, maybe trying to tell me something. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, you got one thing right.
What?
Junie was last seen on a boat heading into Havana.
A boat? How do you know that?
Because 2 months ago, she stayed here on supposed medical leave and needed help to go to Cuba undetected. And guess who helped her?
What? How? What did she tell you?
That she couldn't give me a whole lot of information, but it all looked above board. She said her supervisor wanted her to use my network to quietly get her into the country. I just put together the evidence and assumed she was not actually working with the State Department in Cambodia.
Why did she want to go to Cuba?
She didn't say. She just knew I'd help, and that I knew people who had boats.
So, what did you tell the feds?
What I just told you. That's probably why I'm not detained right now. I have coverage for thinking I was working with the CIA. Probably fed a decent lie to keep the Canadians from freaking out about espionage happening on their own soil. Which is why this ends here. Any further actions will jeopardize me, Mark, and our lives here. I was stupid to help Junie in the first place. But you know, she's my sister.
That can't be it. Junie said you need to tell the company something, like a code.
I honestly have no idea what the hell she meant by that.
Seriously?
I've told you everything I know, Dee. And more than I should have. It was probably some kind of delusion. Nothing more.
Maybe if you talked with the people who helped her to Cuba...
No, Dee. I can't. Not without drawing more focus on me than necessary.
Is that all you care about? You and your perfect life in Canada?
You don't know a thing about my life.
Yeah, maybe because you complain about everyone else instead of talking to people. Talking to me.
You know why I don't talk to you? You don't listen. Neither of you listen to me.
So what? You tried to stop Junie from going to Cuba because you thought you knew better or something about how
Damn
she
it,
should...
Dee. I did not want to stop her. I asked to go with her.
Wait. What?
Hey, Mom. Guess which Menendez just made a very bad choice, and it isn't me. No, that's not... I thought you said they weren't going to be pursuing... Well, how did they find out? Who'd he tell? Should Mark and I come back to Florida? If they're escalating the investigation, we should be there with you. About that. D is here, actually. He's fine, just digging where he shouldn't. That's not the most urgent thing, though. Mom? Okay, just keep us posted.
What happened? Was that Mom and Dad?
Dad's in jail.
What? How? Why?
Apple tree. You know he's been tapping into his network for information. The police picked him up for questioning.
But he's not doing anything wrong, and he still has a security clearance, doesn't he?
It doesn't matter if he was using that clearance for personal reasons. Or if he got in touch with someone he shouldn't.
What kind of someone would that be?
I really don't want to speculate. I need to call my lawyer. You should probably call yours. Do they even know you're out of the country? Great. Well, you should probably ask them about all that.
Is it Mom?
No. It's someone else. Probably spam. I need to call my lawyer, Dee. Go do the same.
What am I supposed to tell her? Hey, I went to visit my sister and now my dad's in jail. Please advise. Lupe? Lupita? What is it?
Who the hell is this?
Am I on speaker? I'm terminally online, not stupid.
It's just me.
That's a lie, but I know who you're with, so whatever. Can you move this conversation into the basement? The guest room, specifically?
Who the hell are you?
An old friend, trying to make sure you two don't get picked up. What did I just text you? No, don't say it out loud. Show Dee the text.
Why?
Fine. Come on, Dee.
Good. They shouldn't be able to pick up a signal down here. I don't think they've bothered going any further than that so far. I don't think they even know about your little DIY project down here. Close the door behind you.
Okay. We're here. How do you know they're surveilling my house?
Any 3-year-old with a dial-up connection could see that there's been a white van parked across your street that definitely is not the cable guy. It's been there so long, it's even on Google Street View now. Thankfully, you had enough sense not to let them inside, but, we have the technology and all that.
Great. So, who are you?
Wow, Dee? Didn't recognize my voice after all these years? Let me give you a hint. I poured chocolate milk on Derek Brown when he told you to go back to your country.
Nat?
I always thought that was such a stupid insult. I mean, you had just said you moved to Boston from Japan. You don't even look ethnically Asian. Racist be racist, I guess. Unimaginative.
You know this person?
Now that we won't have any eavesdroppers, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Natalie Johnson. I was your brother's pen pal in middle school. For a little bit. And clearly, drama runs in your whole family. Because not only is half the intelligence world after your sister, so is half the internet.
Hi everyone, Lisette Alvarez here. I am currently wrapping up my final week at my 3-month artist residency with Crosstown Arts in Memphis, Tennessee. I wanted to take a moment to shout out the Crosstown Arts staff and program, as well as my fellow artists in residence for such an amazing experience, which has supported me through the production of Havana Syndrome and provided logistic support as I hosted an immersive escape room experience this past weekend. If you're curious of what this could possibly look like, you can see documentation on our TikTok and Instagram pages. We had over 100 people visit Juniper's abandoned CIA office, and 5 of our actors attended. I will be uploading the live recorded cast and crew Q&A to the feed next week. If you want to know when we're going to pop up next, ideally in a city near you, Head over to our website, HavanaSyndromePodcast.com, and subscribe to our monthly newsletter. Dimitri Menendez is played by Ralph Ruiz. Guadalupe Menendez is played by Adriene Arce. Mark Williams is played by Nick Folson. Special Agent Celia Whittiker is played by Whitney Johnson. And introducing Natalie Johnson, played by Natalie Campos. Havana Syndrome is written and produced by Lisette Alvarez. This is a Stormfire Productions podcast. Thank you for listening.